So I'm so happy that everyone could join today to learn about the Vino 301 wine cruise. I'm really excited, and I hope you are, because there's a lot of good information. And I think after you see this, hopefully this will answer all of the questions that you have and where we're going and the pricing, and you'll be excited to sign up. So my name is Leslie Freelo, and I am with Vino 301, and I'm about to share my screen of the PowerPoint presentation. So if you can see the screen, please enter in the chat box that you can see the screen. And unfortunately, I can't see you. So let's see if we can escape that. No screen. Okay, let me try doing this. Can you see my screen now? Yes, great. I'm glad you can see it. Okay, I'm going to make this a little larger for you to see. I appreciate that. Here we go. Perfect. Okay, so as I said, that this is Vino 301's wine cruise. And before we get started, I know I like cruising. I love cruising because everything is there. There's the food there. There's my lodging. My drinks are included. Most importantly, my drinks are included. There's gambling and casinos there, and it's all inclusive. Like, I don't have to worry about going from the hotel to what have you. So I'd love to hear from you, and you can put in the chat box why you like cruising. And what are some of the favorite things that you like about going on a cruise? So Kate, I'm so happy that you're here. What do you enjoy about cruising? Is it that it's all inclusive? I agree. It's all inclusive, and so once you're there, you don't have to worry about adding anything else. I also like the fact that there's so many luxury amenities like the spa. Yes, and I agree with you. It's a huge adventure of everything. So you can go to multiple places and you don't have to worry about packing and unpacking. When you get there, you're just in your cabin and you can get off the ship if you want to and do an excursion, or you can stay on board and just be pampered and spoiled to death. So I think that's one of the great things about cruising. Let's see. This is not allowing me to, here we go. So again, I wanted to introduce myself, and my name is Leslie Freelo, and that is me on the left there, and I'm with Vino 301. And Vino 301 has been around for about 13 years, and we offer local wine tours and wine tasting events. And we primarily have events in the Maryland area. Sometimes we have wine tasting events in DC and Virginia, but primarily in Maryland. And then on the right is Miranda Tate. And Miranda is our cruise expert. So I pretend to know a lot about a lot of things, but I know nothing about putting a cruise together. And so we partnered with cruise planners and Miranda specifically to offer this adventure for our Vino 301 family. And so as I start to talk more through the presentation, you'll learn more about Miranda's role, and you will definitely be interacting with her to book your cruise. So why a cruise? Well, as I said, most of the stuff that we do is local, and we were getting a lot of feedback from our guests about what they wanted to do some unique things, and they wanted to do something outside of the Maryland area, and not just a wine tasting, but combined with other things. So one of the things is that they wanted a getaway, and they also wanted to do a food activity. And so this is our first time really involving like a food tasting type of adventure. Usually we have our cheese and wine tour, but this is like 20 notches above that. They also wanted to take adventures outside of the Maryland region, and this cruise definitely takes you outside of the Maryland region. And they wanted to try new and exciting wines. And so where we're going around the world on the other side of the pond, as they would say, um, we are going there in southern Italy and France, and they have amazing wines there. So that's why we decided to offer this cruise. So the cruise dates are September 1st through September 8th. It's a 7-day cruise, and we got a lot of feedback. We did a survey, and we got a lot of feedback about the best times to go. And so this was actually our number 3 pick, but it appeared to be the best time to include everything that people were looking for. And so we didn't want to go on a super, super huge ship, like a Carnival cruise ship. So we picked something mid-range. So it's not a yacht that's small, but this is still very intimate. And we selected the cruise line Oceania Cruise. And so if anybody knows about any cruise line, Oceania is one of the best cruise lines, luxury cruise lines that you can go on. And the ship that we will be sailing on is the Riviera ship. And as you can see, this is in the picture here, this is their pool, and it's just gorgeous. I mean, that's all I can say about it, is that it is a spa-like facility, and it is really gorgeous. And if you look at the top level of the deck there, so you'll see the pool on the bottom, and then there's that top level, and there's a track that you can, if for those joggers and exercise enthusiasts, you can run the probably the, I guess that's the diameter of the ship along the way. And this particular ship, the reason why we picked this ship is because their theme of this ship is wineries and wonders. So, if we're going to talk about going on a wine cruise, it is definitely one that their focus is all about wine. So that's why we selected this cruise here. So there's some highlights that I particularly love about this ship. And one of the great things is, just as much as I love wine, I am definitely a foodie. And on their ship, which I had not seen this in a lot of ships before, but they have a culinary center where there's a master chef, and you can take cooking classes there, and very involved cooking classes. They're simple classes, but they're like state-of-the-art facilities. And you can see in the picture here is an example of people enjoying themselves cooking and dining there. They also have a wonderful spa, and it's if anybody's familiar with the Canyon Ranch Spa brand, they are on this ship here, and it features a sauna and a steam room. They have a number of treatments. In addition to the spa, there's a salon, and then they have fitness classes. So, I mean, To be honest with you, when I go on vacation, I don't necessarily go to aerobics class or Zumba class, but if you're interested in attending those classes, they have that. You can definitely keep up with your exercise routine, and then they have a fully equipped gym. They also have 7 restaurants and a private dining room on this ship, and each restaurant gets better than the next restaurant there. Um, for those who like their quiet time, they have a library on deck that you can go and read and relax in there. And then, of course, with all cruise ships, they have nightlife and shows. You can go shopping on board, and definitely there is a casino, which I try to avoid, but I love every once in a while just putting my money in the slots. The other thing is that um, it just oozes luxury. That is one of the great things about this ship that was really important in selecting it, because we didn't want you to feel like crammed in and sardines and then this tiny little pool. There's been cruise ships that I've been on before where it seems like the whole ship is sitting around this tiny pool and you really can't relax in there and you can't splash. And I know that they have kids on this ship, but it really is an adult adventure. So you're not going to find a whole lot of young families on this ship. You will definitely find older people on the ship having adult fun and entertainment. There's more highlights also. They have Martini Tasting. So even though this is a wine cruise, they also have spirits tastings, which I think is really cool. And then they have afternoon tea at 4 o'clock with the sandwiches and scones. And I really love tea, going out for tea. I haven't done it in years, but I used to go all the time to the Four Seasons downtown in Georgetown, and they had the best tea service. And I know this is like maybe just a girly thing, but I love, in the mid-afternoon going and doing that. And I just think this is awesome that the ship offers this on a daily basis. Then, of course, they have wine tastings, scotch, champagne, cheese, and chocolate every day on the ship. It's like heaven every day on the ship. And of course, they have bars and lounges that you can go to at night, and they also have live entertainment. So I have not seen the live entertainment, but I'm not sure if it's like Vegas style entertainment, but they do promise really good acts that you can enjoy in the evening. Now, we are going to go to, I talked a lot about the ships, but where are we going to go? And so we start in Rome, Italy. And if you notice, it really doesn't leave until 7 o'clock at night. So when I was speaking to Miranda about this, we had talked about you could fly in that day, and usually when you're flying overseas, you're going to get there in the morning, so you have plenty of time to fly in the same day. Or we also have talked about, and I'll talk about it later in the presentation, of having a pre-trip excursion where you could fly in before and check out Rome and then get on the ship. So that is something that I will talk about later, but it's something that you definitely could do. So we have a question about where do people fly from. So we have not arranged flight information for this trip, but we can arrange flight information. And the reason why we haven't is because there's a certain number of people that we have to have a group rate. But if we do have the number of people, then we would arrange flights from Dulles Airport, and you could fly in from Dulles in Virginia, if you're local, to Rome, Italy. So that is something that once we have most of the people booked, we can make that second offering for flight information. Thanks for asking that question. Oops, I'm sorry, went too fast. So our next location that we sail to is Florence, and we spend the whole day there. The other thing that I really like about this particular cruise ship is, you know how sometimes they have certain ports and you're supposed to go to all of these cities, and then you only end up spending like a half a day at the city, so you really don't get a chance to take it in. And the nice thing about this is, like, you can see that you're spending a good 12 hours in that city, so you can do a morning excursion, an afternoon excursion if you want to. You don't feel rushed. You can really explore the city and be there during the morning and in the evening. The other thing that I really like about this particular ship is that we don't leave until 8 o'clock at night. So you still are able to maybe have dinner there. You don't necessarily have to have dinner on the ship. So that is a great thing. And then we move on to another port in Italy where we're spending the day. And I was looking at some of the excursions, like trying to figure out like what I would do. And Miranda offers like literally 20 different excursions from all types of activity levels. So if you just wanted to take like a walking tour, she offers that. If you wanted to take, there's one tour where you can get in the race car and do high-speed racing in Monaco there. So there's all different levels. There's definitely vineyard visits there in most of the ports there. There's a lot of wine tastings that are available. There's a lot of countryside visits. So you really are not limited to just where you disembark. You can go all over the area. And then on Friday, the 4th, you go to Monte Carlo. And let me tell you, I went there a few years ago, and this is truly how the other people live. I mean, you just see luxury cars like, was it Aston Martin there, and Maseratis and Bugattis. I had no idea what a Bugatti was until I went to Monaco, but it is gorgeous, and they have the casino there, and you stay a little later. So you get to go on the casino, and they have the European casino, and then they have the American casino with all of the blinking, flashing lights, and the European casino is really understated. But you get that whole James Bond feeling where they film some of the movies. And then this is like my favorite part of France is Provence, and going and seeing the lavender fields at this time of year. The other thing that I just want to make you aware of is this time of the year is the middle of harvest time. So usually they start harvesting in August, end of August, definitely in September. So you really are able to get the full wine experience when you're going to the vineyards. Now we end in Spain, and you're able to, I know one of the excursions is doing a cava tasting and doing a truffle hunt. So if you're into that type of venture, that is available. And then we arrive in Barcelona. And again, if you want to stay a day in Barcelona, or you could still catch a flight back to the United States, because I understand that most people are probably going to take off from work, maybe 8 days, maybe 10 days. So after having all of this fun, you need to go back to work to make some more money because you had such a wonderful vacation. I'm just going to pause for a second to see if there are any questions before we move on to the next slide. Okay, well, we are going to move on. So let's talk about, oh, we do have a question. And so the question is about the accommodations, which is perfect timing. So I know I'm sounding like really gushy about this, and I probably have a ship crush if there is such a thing, but most but it's real. It's not a fake thing. I really do love this cruise. Most of the cabins are exterior cabins, and they have ocean view, or they have ocean view with a balcony. We were able to secure a few cabins that are inside cabins. So they don't necessarily have ocean view, and it's very rare in the ship because, again, this is not one of the larger ships here. But the inside cabin is a really nice sized cabin, because if you've ever been on like the Carnival cruise or what have you, and you're in there with someone, you're kind of like waiting for them to move so you can move to the other side of the room, but it's kind of, I wouldn't say spacious, but it's comfortable inside the inside cabin. And so with these, as you can see, this is a picture of one of the outside cabins, but they're pretty much designed the same, where there's a refrigerated minibar in there, there's a vanity desk, there's a breakfast table, and all of the cabins are double occupancy. So we'll talk a little bit later about how you book the cabins, but they're all double occupancy. And if you do have a request for a single room, we're happy to accommodate you. Yes, Kate, I agree. All of the cabins are gorgeous. So we have a question about, will we match people up? We can match people up, but the way the cabins are sold, actually, I'm not even going to talk about that now. We can match people up if you don't have a person, but we would suggest that you do have a person, and I'll talk about why I'm making that suggestion. Okay, so then the other cabin that we have available is also, this one now is the ocean view, and it's slightly larger. It's 242 square feet stateroom, and there's floor to ceiling windows. And as you can see in this picture, this is a great example of what the room looks like. And it's gorgeously decorated, but most importantly, you have room in there. The other thing that I think is impressive, and I know this is a small thing, and I don't plan to spend most of my time in the cabin, but it has a bathroom with a separate tub and shower. So how many times you go on a cruise ship and they're all showers? They're all like these little stand-up jail shower type of situation. This one actually has a tub in the room. And I know I might be oversharing, but my mother is that type of person who takes a bath every day. And so for her to go on a cruise ship that just has a shower, she is just very uncomfortable. So if you are a bath person, all of your rooms have tubs in them. Now we move on to the next level, that this is the veranda stateroom, and it has a balcony. And like I said before, most of the rooms on the ship do have balconies. And this one is slightly larger. So, you know, as we go up in class, the rooms get slightly bigger. This is about 40 more square feet, which may mean a lot. And again, it has the separate tub and shower. It has the mini bar, the vanity, the breakfast table. It's beautifully appointed, and you can sit out on a balcony. And I know the last cruise that I had gone on, I just cherished sitting on the balcony. It was nothing like with the ocean air, and the calm and the serenity in the morning, and having my coffee out there. So if you get the balcony, I think you really will love the balcony rooms. Now, the last level that we have available to offer you is the concierge level. And this is like the ooh la la level. It is about the same size, but it has the wireless laptop computer in there. It has a flat screen TV. It's just more and more amenities and luxuries in this room. In addition to it, this particular level has its own concierge lounge. So there's a butler in there that's dedicated to this lounge, and you also get priority seating when you book on this level. At let's see, it's 3 of the restaurants on the ship, and the Red Ginger restaurant is I think it's Asian cuisine in there, like Asian infusion cuisine there. So each level is just a little bit more added to it, but you definitely have like your own area. I would refer to it, but don't take this literally. It's like the club lounge at the airport. So there's additional amenities in that particular area for you to go if you don't want to go down to the restaurant or you don't want to go out to the pool or the deck there. You can go to this concierge room. And in addition to the room, and this picture here is their grand stairway in the on the ship. You get a $200 onboard credit and you get free internet as well. Now, what I was told is like basic internet, so you can check your email or what have you, but you can't stream Netflix on there or movies or anything like that. But it is basic internet, and I know with some ships, internet is an additional cost. Now, in addition to that, you can choose 4 free scores. Okay, knew I was going to mess it up. I was trying not to mess it up, and I did. So let me try it again. You can choose 4 shore excursions, or you can choose a beverage package. So with this ship, even though it is a wine theme cruise, you still have to purchase the wine in addition to the price of the cruise. So there are 2 beverage packages. One is just wine and beer, and that's $39 per day. And then there's wine, beer, and spirits, and that's $49 per day. So if you do the math roughly, $59.95. So the wine, beer, and spirits is $59.95 per day. And if you do the math, that's about $400 for the beverage package. Now, no judgment, but when I go on vacation, I do not want to have to worry about where my next drink is coming from. And so to me, this is a bargain because you get wine, you get champagne, you get beer, you get spirits, and it's unlimitless. So you can just keep on purchasing. You can keep on, not purchasing, you can order without having to worry about purchasing it and getting the bill afterwards. Or if you want to, you say, I'm not a drinker, and they do have complimentary now non-alcoholic drinks. You can do the shore excursions, and the shore excursions probably equate to about the same amount as the packages. So it's something for you to consider when you sign up, that you would have to indicate which one you want, and you can pick your excursions later. Oh, we have a question. Yes. So you can, so the question is, when do you have to choose? And so when you sign up, you can choose then, but you can choose which, if you want the shore excursion or the beverages, then you can let her know, Miranda, which excursions you want later. So you don't have to pick the excursions immediately. You just have to pick which one you want, the beverage package or the shore excursions. Great question. Now, as I mentioned earlier, if you want to arrive earlier in Rome, we've selected a hotel for you to stay the day before, and it is the Sheraton Roma Hotel and Conference Center. And you can book that, and that's close to the city center and activity that you can go and stay there, and then the next day go on to the ship. And that is an add-on there. So let's talk about pricing. So the pricing for the ship, the way we did it is that it really is a la carte. The cruise for the inside cabin, as you can see, is about $2,200, and then that deluxe cabin, which just has the ocean view, is $2,700, and then it goes up. Now, if you choose to have add-ons and that pre-hotel stay, it's $169 a night, and this is all based on double occupancy. Then we also identify the cost of approximately the cost of the ground transportation. That will probably go down, but we were thinking of it on the high end just as an estimate for the ground transportation from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel, or from the airport straight to the cruise ship. So if you were going straight to the cruise ship, the day of when you land on September 1st, it would be $73 one way. And then on the way back, it would be another $73. Now, if you were going from the hotel, from the airport to the hotel, it would be $73. And then on the first, the ground transportation would pick you up at the hotel and then take you to the cruise ship. So that $28.38, that is that transfer there for the cost there. And again, as I mentioned earlier, we did not figure out costs for air. But if we have a certain group number of people, then Miranda can figure out what the cost would be if you wanted to book your airfare with her from Dallas, departing from Dallas Airport. Now, to book, there is a deposit of $750 per person, and that will hold your space. And then the final payment is due on May 31st, 2020. So you have time to make installment payments, and Miranda will work with you on those installment payments. If you make your deposit by the end of this month, then you also receive another $50 onboard credit towards your ship payment. So there is an incentive to book by December 26th. And then what will happen is you will go to Miranda's website, and we have a snapshot here, and you'd go to MTATE Travel Services. When you go to MTATE Travel Services, you're going to go to where it says groups, and it will say Vino 301. And then you'll get this page here, Vino 301. There's more information about this group. And then the page that I have highlighted here is about the cruise information. And to book the cruise, you would go register. So you're going to book directly on Miranda's website. You won't be booking on the Vino 301 website. We do have a link under the wine tours, the wine cruise page, to link to Miranda's site, which is the MTATE services, for you to register. But you, again, register directly with Miranda, and you also can register your excursions with Miranda as well. Now, if you choose the wine package or the beverage package, so you want to have that as your free package, and you want to book your excursions, then you could book your excursions with Miranda, and she also has them listed on this page as well. Any questions? So yes, thank you for asking that question. So you definitely have to have, the question was about what travel documents you need, and you definitely need your passport. Please make sure that when you check your passport, that it doesn't expire in 6 months, because if it expires in 6 months, you won't be able to travel. So check it now to see if it is valid. 6 months prior to September. Um, the other question is, yes, so all of the cabins, the question was about double occupancy. So the way the cabins are priced, they're priced as one cabin. So let's take the stateroom, the inside stateroom. I think it was $2,224. When you see the price of it, it's actually going to be, you'll see $4,000. So you and the person that you are going to room with have to register together. And then you will get the double occupancy pricing of it. Again, I think Kate had asked the question before, do we pair people? We can pair people. If there are singles there, it's just a matter of your personal preference. If you know them, if you don't know them, we can't assume any responsibility for matching people together. So I want to say thank you. There's other questions here, and what we'll do is we will respond to those when we send out the actual live video. So I want to thank you so much for taking the time and listening to me today, and any questions that you have, I would be happy to answer them. But I really, but I really think that this is an excellent opportunity and a great value too. I mean, for what you're getting and where you're going. And if you just compare that on an individual basis, I really do think that it would be much more than what is actually being offered. So again, give me a call or shoot me an email for any questions that you have. And I thank you so much for taking the time to spend with me this evening. And I look forward to hearing from you.